Will relationships make you happy, or are they just setups for pain and hurt? Ah, come on. Does it sound mean and crazy? Join us in our conversation as we get deeper into this issue of relationships and why they seem so difficult.
Who am I?
Who? Our purpose is to awaken.
Who am I?
To awaken to absolute truth.
Am I?
Who am I?
Who?
Our purpose is to awaken to absolute truth.
Absolute.
Absolute truth.
Our purpose is to awaken. Are they one and the same? Absolute and truth. That's our purpose.
Who
Hey, hi everybody. How you doing? Hey, John, Sharon. All right. Hey, Sam. How you doing? Hey, Greg and Gloria. How you doing? All right. Everybody ready? Yeah. All right. Let's get started. Hey, welcome, everybody. We are here today to continue our discussion of relationships. Okay.
Relationship, Doctor, one moment. Can I? There's just something on my heart.
Okay.
I just got to get off because you're talking about relationship there. And I think all of us agree, because we had a little conversation before, and we wanted to wish you a happy birthday. Right, everybody? So can we all say it together, to Dr. Carter? Happy birthday.
Sure.
Now we can continue with our relationship.
So we're in a relationship. Oh, shucks, guys. What a G. Well, thanks, And you can see, folks, we have fun here, but we also about looking at some very profound issues, okay? It doesn't mean you can't have fun, but you can also get deeper. Don't get distracted by the fun, just include it, okay? And we are looking at relationships, and last time we got into it, we just we got into some good stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And we were diving into deeper. We want to go deeper and deeper and deeper. I don't want anybody to tell me to stop with anything, because if I'm curious, I want to respect my curiosity. If you say, no, don't question this, why should I? I will continue to question it. Nothing is sacred, all right? Only you say it's sacred, or somebody else says it's sacred, but nothing is inherently sacred. So we want to keep going deeper and deeper into and find out the truth about relationships, if there is a truth about it, okay? Because the purpose of our show is to get to absolute truth. We have that in the beginning of the show. Now, why do we want it to get to absolute truth? Because truth is all. Truth stands by itself. It doesn't need anything. It is not relative. There's no such thing as my truth or your truth. There is only the truth, all right? And it stands by itself. It's sole, it's single, all right? A lie needs something else. A lie is a lie, and it only has power because you believe it. When Joan and I were growing up in Alabama, our parents told us that there was a Santa Claus, and we believed it, But that was a lie. On December 24th, you couldn't tell us that, there was no Santa Claus. But it got its power because it wasn't questioned, all right? And we are here to question everything. And if you do not question a lie, it will proceed as if it's true, all right? For instance, we think that relationships, and you can't understand relationships, particularly in the Western society, unless you look at the story of Genesis, the first relationship. Now, here was a God who supposedly created something called not himself, all right? If God created something called not himself, and he has a relationship with Adam and Eve and Satan, all right? God is not all. He's not infinite, all right? Because he now has something called not him. So he's limited. He, she, or whatever you want to call it.
Well, Dr. Carter, I got a question. Now, did he create something that's not himself, or is that something that we attach to it? Because in the beginning, he said, let us make man after our image and after our likeness. So it was actually a part of him that was never meant to be separated. So was it that he created something not himself, or is that something that we attach to it?
We attach to it, okay? if God can create, it's not a creation. God can only, see, a creation is, the premise of a creation is that there's time. A precedes B. You know, you have parents. Your parents were born before you and they created you, okay? So A preceded B. So in the infinite now, which is what God is, all right, how can that be time? How can A precede B? So it can't be a creation. If God can do anything, Greg, it's like, nah,
Right.
now. You remember faster than that, okay? I mean, you can't even, there's no time for, because God is timeless. So, you know, even that first sentence in the Bible that says, in the beginning, that's a lie.
Right.
All right?
Because there's no such thing as time.
Right.
And when we read the original text, it never says in the beginning. It actually says in beginning, which was nothing that was attached to time. And so my next question would be, can thought be a reality?
No.
Why-
You think
and I guess, okay, you're going to explain to it.
Yeah.
So why not?
because only God is real. Only the infinite absolute is real. A thought is finite, okay?
Can we be the thought of God?
Not like you think.
I'm in the infinite.
Well, yeah.
There's no separation. There's just now. There's
Right.
just
So-
I am. There's just
That's right. I am.
There's just the infinite. So the infinite. There's no separation between our time and yesterday and today because there's no yesterday.
Right.
There's no tomorrow.
Right.
There's no even no thought for tomorrow. There's just now. So if God could this be a continuation of God's thought and the God's thought is now. We have just attached a time limit.
Which would mean we don't exist.
No,
And
but
do
it's a
we?
continuation of God. We are made in the image and likeness of God. We are God.
Well, only if I am perfect and invisible and undimensional am I in the image of God. Okay? God is perfect, whole, and when I say
And
God, I
complete.
don't mean, I'm
Wait,
using that word
and
loosely,
complete.
all right? I prefer the word the infinite absolute, but, I was taught like you were, all of us
Right.
were, God, okay? But, it has to be, God has to be infinite, absolute, invisible, undimensional, and complete.
Absolutely.
All right? So if we're created in his image, and that word his is, because men wrote the Bible, all right? So but I use that word, in his image, like can only beget like. So therefore, if I exist, Greg, Alan, I exist as perfect, complete, whole, and invisible. Greg, who I can touch and see, all right, can't be who you are. All right? If there is a body, the body is not available to the senses. It's not empirical. It's not sense-based. All right? But we rely upon our five senses to tell us what is real. All right? I can see Greg. I can hear Greg, and therefore I say Greg is real. No, God can't see Greg. God can't hear Greg. Because if God could see Greg or hear Greg, then God is seeing something that is outside of his existence. You get what I'm saying?
But if we're
So God
looking
is-
at truth, the truth is this is not who we are.
Right.
This
Right.
is not us. This is we call it an illusion.
Yes, exactly.
It's unreal.
Right.
It's a part of our psychology, but it's really not who we are because Alan is perfect.
I'm perfect as an idea in God's mind.
Yes.
All right, but I'm on.
And I'm perfect.
Yeah, but not as Greg.
Not as this body, not
Right,
as
not
this
as a
human.
body.
Yeah, matter of fact, I don't even have a name
Right.
because I'm a spirit.
Yes.
That's
the reality of it, I am a spirit.
Occupying a physical body.
We're occupying time and space.
Well,
but
we have-
So if,
I saw Archibald back there, and then we.
Yeah, I mean, basically what you're saying is God is all,
Right.
including us.
Well-
And we're part of the all.
Yes.
This is what we are getting into right now. See, if there is a idea called Archibald,
The thing, the stuff we made out of is part of the all.
yeah, but the stuff is not physical.
The mental part may not be that, but the stuff is part of the all.
But it's not physical. All right? It's spirit. God is the only
But
substance.
if God, if true, we're dealing with now, perfect existence. We're dealing with omniscient, omnipresent, and all that. That's the definition of God,
Okay.
which we gave him. We made that the definition of God.
Well,
There's
But is
so-
that God?
Well, mankind did.
okay, but would you say that there's something called absolute truth?
We ain't true.
Well, I am.
I'm not sure about that.
Oh, I am.
But you are.
No, not Alan.
I'm not sure about you.
Yeah, you know me many years, Paul. But I mean, when I say I, see, this is the sin. This is the only sin there is. And John, you were telling me about in your church Saturday, y'all were talking about sin. See, there ain't no sin.
That's right.
All right?
That's right.
But the human mind thinks that I'm human. Once I have a premise that I'm human, that I, whatever comes after I am Alan Carter. I am a black man. I am a psychologist or whatever. All that is a lie because it's a limitation. Okay?
Now, I'd actually be willing to disagree with you because I think there is sin.
What is
But
sin?
there's only one sin.
What?
And that's the sin that could separate you from God.
Yes.
The separation from you from God.
Right.
That is the sin.
Right. And what is that separates me from God?
This.
My thinking that I am,
right.
that I can think separate from God.
Exactly.
That and see that sets up a relationship. Because see, I think God
That's
got
right.
something that I don't have. Okay, I mean this is what humans have. That's why we invent all kinds of gods. You know, Zeus and Apollo and whatever, Saturn, all those planets in the solar system named after gods, right? Mars and so forth, right? So we invent gods. Man will always have a gods, all right? And man usually wants something from this God. Because man has as its basis, a human has to have this. I ain't got something. I'm lacking something. And I got to go get something from outside of me. Now I have a relationship. Okay? I got to go to Kroger and get me a loaf of bread. Okay? So now I got to have a relationship with Kroger. All right? Or whatever that I feel I'm missing, I have to go to where I think a source is. And I make God the ultimate source. Because I don't have something. You know, if I don't have, in California, they don't have enough rain right now. Back, 200 or 300 years ago, they would have been dancing around to a rain god or something. And they probably are praying for rain in California. All right? Well, that's why they're saying God can do something or has something. He's like Santa Claus. He's got something that I don't have. Okay? And we try to, figure out how to get it from him because he ain't going to give it up easily. All right? So we might sacrifice virgins or whatever. Gloria, then Viva,
So,
and then somebody else.
are you defining relationship as it has to be a two, at
Yes.
least two?
Yes.
So, if you look at relationship as that, I was thinking, okay, the first important relationship is the relationship I have with myself. But still, that's a setup for me to have the pain and the discomfort because I'm looking for something. I'm separating myself from even God or myself from you. And so it's still, I think just relationship is a setup for conflict and
Yep.
failure. And
Yes, because it denies the allness of God. We do not want God to be all right? We have something called I will worship God, give God the glory or praise. What does God need? Does he need
Nothing.
praise? I mean,
No,
he's like,
he needs
"Oh,
nothing.
I
He's
don't
got
feel
it all."
good today. Y'all got to tell me how good I am. I mean, I'm being a little facetious now. But the point is, if there's only all, that is absolute. It's called infinity. Or you can call it now. All right? Can now have a relationship.
no.
And now is what I am. I am here now. That's absolute truth. I cannot be there then. I'm always here now. That's absolute. The only sin is I think I is a personal identity. Okay, I think Aviva and then Sam.
And you spoke it for me. That's what I was gonna say is sin, that thinking, period. I like to call it self-inflicted nonsense.
Self-inflicted nonsense.
So we bring it on ourselves,
Okay.
and we don't even exist.
A little acronym there, right?
Yeah.
Self-inflicted. S-A-N. Samuel,
So,
put the mic up closer.
so if we're talking about living now, when someone says live in the moment, is that probably one of the, would that be one of the most truest statements that we have?
No, because moment implies time.
Oh my
Live
goodness.
now.
Dang
Live
it.
timeless. But the human mind can't do that. See, Big Bang. All right, science says everything began out of Big Bang 14 billion years ago. All right, that's the general accepted scientific theory right now. And a Big Bang was supposedly the beginning, at the start of, the genesis, all right, of time, space, and matter. All right, it was supposed to be an infinitesimal, and notice that word infinitesimal, meaning infant. Okay, infinitesimal small piece of something, or whatever, they don't even know what it was, and then it exploded, okay? But out of that came time, space, and matter. Well, what was before Big Bang? Okay, well, that which is, only is. There's no before is. There's no after is. There is only is, okay? I is. I know I is.
And the definition of is.
Is means to exist. There is only existence. There cannot be non-existence. But if I say there's something else other than God, that is outside of God, it must be non-existent. If there's a Satan. Now, if you think about it, God supposedly has a relationship with Satan. That's what you and I were taught. All right? And Satan was one of his main boys,
Yeah.
right? And then supposedly betrayed God,
That's right.
right?
Got
And then
kicked
God
out of
threw him out of
heaven.
heaven, like heaven's a place. All right? But God is dependent upon Satan. If there's going to be a second coming, then God's got to have somebody who's going to punish the bad guys, right? Hitler and all of them, right? And so he's totally dependent upon Satan. He got a relationship. They got a conspiracy going on. But that couldn't be God. That could not be God. God can't have a relationship. He, she, or whatever the pronoun you want to use, all right?
And
Is
why?
God.
Why can't God have a relationship?
Good
Because
question.
then you would have to have a separation.
Right, exactly.
So-
And as Gloria was saying, a relationship means two or more.
Exactly.
Now, if God has a relationship, he's not infinite.
That's right.
Right.
That means there's God and. And another definition for a human is this. All and. That we think we are in relationship to God.
That's right.
All right? And I want God to do something for me. And I think that God, I will fear God. We even have it as make it a virtue to fear God. Okay? That, he's a good God-fearing man. All right? Because God's going to punish you on Judgment Day or something like that. How, if that's possible, then God is not all. This whole ideal relationship is built on fear and guilt. It's built on fear and guilt and desire. I got a motive. I got a motive. I got to go get me something. I want to go to heaven. All right? So what I do? I'll keep those 10 ones. Maybe I'll keep 9 of them. God's a man, so he knows, Anyway, or whatever, I have a motive. Why? Because there's something I don't have. All human behavior is built on, I got to go get something. I got to get some air. You all have been swimming and you couldn't, remember when you couldn't breathe? And you go, oh, you're fighting for air and stuff, Or we all gone a few hours without food. We go, my stomach is killing me. I got to give me something to eat, okay, or whatever. That's human relationship. Maslow, who was a psychologist, had his hierarchy of needs and said, we got to take care of our survival needs first. No, we don't. Maslow was wrong, okay? we do not have to take care of our survival needs and then take care of what he called the higher needs. He even called the highest self-actualization. No, Maslow, that is not true. If I love the Lord thy God with all heart, soul, mind, and strength, I will be like a lily of the field. Okay? I will have enough. We'll get into that when we're going to get into the whole thing about money and stuff. Okay? Yeah, Archibald, did you have a question?
But we're dealing with lack.
Humans.
Well, yeah. I mean, including lack of life.
No, you can't have a lack of life.
We are concerned about not having life.
Yeah, we are afraid.
We are afraid.
Yes.
And that's a big lack.
Yes.
That's the number one lack as humans.
Yeah, we think that there's something called loss.
Right.
You got something and you can lose it.
Yeah, I call it greed and fear.
Huh?
I call it greed and fear.
Okay.
You fear your life is gone, the physical thing is going to go away, and the greed is to have more.
Yes. That's the human condition.
Right.
Yeah, once you identify with a body, and that's automatic. When I came out of Ruth Carter, and Dr. Donaldson, remember him, John? Dr. Donaldson slapped me on my back or whatever he did, I started breathing, I identified as a body. Once I identify as a body, Archibald, I got this automatically going, lack and loss. It's automatic, just like once you identify with a body, your lungs going to start working and things are automatic. Mentally, you will have, because what I do, I started screaming, and Mama picked me up and, did Mama stuff, okay? And I was saying I was lacking something, all right? That is built into the human mechanism, and it's a lie.
So how do you not be that?
Good. How you think so?
How can we have this conversation?
Well, yeah, it's like being aware of this is an illusion, my thoughts are an illusion.
Yeah,
It's all one, it's God. I don't know, that's why I'm asking the question.
say I've had a Ph.D.
That's right,
You're the
you
teacher,
tell me.
right? You're the teacher. You don't want to stand up in front of you. Yeah, let's see what other people say. Yeah, Lorraine.
Okay, I assume we're still talking about relationships,
Well,
right?
we kind of meandering around a little bit.
Okay, well, what I want to ask you, because you've mentioned the word think, I think, a number of times. And I always have the question, is thinking a function of the mind, i.e. the body, or is it a function of the spirit?
Spirit doesn't think.
Okay.
Okay.
So, and if we are spiritual beings occupying a physical body, so is thinking a thing?
Well, let me say this. As a matter of fact, I saw Sharon move over there. Sharon, you want to respond?
I know what Sharon's going to say.
But I think that's the fallacy, is that we're spiritual beings occupying a physical body. That is where we begin to identify as human, is that if we're spirit, then we are all, and we are everywhere evenly present. So there is no spot that we're not. To confine ourselves to this physicality is limiting. And again, it brings us back to that identifying with the body. So as long as we remember that our identity is God, is all, then wherever we are everything, all encompassing that which God is. So that's where that problem comes in.
Yeah, somebody, Reed, did you want to say something? Oh, yeah, yes. Oh, yes.
Yes. I think that we have to go back to the body. That's where we all misidentified the body. The body isn't Reed. The body is a result of the experiences I've had since I've been on this planet Earth. I am not a body, I am spirit. But we've been conditioned to believe that we're a body. You said yourself when you were born with Ruth, you became identified with this body. This could be a mistake in thinking you're a body. It's an illusion. You have to realize that you are spirit and the body is the results of the experiences you've had. And it's hard to do this because you're so much in the habit of looking at your body as you, which isn't so. I don't feel it's so. It feels to me that I am dealing with two dimensions of existence, the illusions and what's real. Every day I live, since I was 80, I recognize there is a difference in illusions and what's real. But my experience with my environment, I'm dealing with people that still deals with illusions, and I have the task of still having a relationship with them that don't know that there is a real world, an illusionary world, being played simultaneously, and most people are addicted to illusions.
Yes. You know, what Jesus recognized as supposedly, he said,
Jesus.
how do you live in the world, how you be in the world, but not
not
of the
of it.
world? You know, and I think this is what you're getting to, Reed. You know, how do you separate fact from fiction, the truth from a lie? When this is a lie. This is a lie.
Absolutely.
All right, mine identified as Alan Carter, a black man who came out of Ruth Carter, who has a sister named Joan. That's a lie. A as truth. But in the world, okay, I will function as psychologist, black man, there's my sister, so forth and so on, okay? I mean, I don't do full, I pay my, how did you say, render unto Caesar that which is Caesar.
Yeah.
In other words, there appears to be a government, all right, and you do things that the government, or you don't do, whatever. And I just got this signal that we got to wind it up, even though there's no time.
Wow.
But in the world, okay,
Yes.
since we are apparently in the world, we have to wind this up, at least for right now. We'll pull a comma right here, and obviously, this conversation has a lot of energy and can carry us to a place that, maybe most people don't go. We have to get up there where the streets aren't crowded, where most people don't go, okay? And there you will find the rest, the peace that passes understanding. Thank you for being willing to engage with us in this conversation. Let's continue to ask, who am I?
Thank you for tuning into today's show. Who Am I is hosted by Dr. Alan Carter, a board-certified clinical psychologist. To watch more episodes of Who Am I, go to AIBTV.com to the Watch Now tab and select Video on Demand to see the program from your computer or smartphone. We appreciate your comments and questions. Continue to email them to Dr. Carter at alancarter13@aol.com or visit dralancarter.com for more information.